Welcome to English Language Shelf, friends. In this video, I will tell you about the exceptions in parts of speech. I have brought 5 exceptions for you today. Basically, the first question that should strike in all of our minds is why there are exceptions in English grammar, English spelling, or English parts of speech, or in any other language. Well, let's first explore the reason for that why. So there is this person who answers the question why there are exceptions. He has shared this answer on Quora.com. Well, he tells that the reason for these irregularities or exceptions is because of the partiality, the partial displacement, and the partial coexistence of different languages. So you see, English is composed of more than one language. There are some partialness of Germanic language and some other partialness of Celtic languages. So somewhere there were displacements. On the other hand, in 11th century, the population of Romance language speakers they invaded and they became the ruling class, which is why their becoming a ruling class uh, obviously had influence on the population of language speakers. Then, what was new of Romance language was it brought this possessive formation. So, English actually has the Germanic form of possessive formation as well as the Romance form of, you can say, uh, another sense of possessiveness, like the something of the something. So, the possessive formation, there are two kinds. Like we have that apostrophe s, and another is just simply saying something of something. Then in the 16th century, the influence of colonization obviously brought a lot of influence and numerous varieties in English language. That is why today we have British English, Australian English, American English, Canadian English, etc. So now let's look at those 5 exceptions. So let's mind our English, guys. Uh, where did it go? Okay, first is regular and irregular nouns. I have made a video on nouns. There is a lecture, you can find that on my YouTube channel. So basically this is first exception that regular nouns they have s or es at the end of the word to make it a plural. But irregular nouns they don't follow such pattern. For example, the plural of man is men, plural of ox is oxen, plural of fox is vixen, plural of goose is geese, etc. So you have to memorize these irregularities. Then we have regular and irregular verbs. The regular verbs they end with ed or d at the end. So just like clean, the plural, sorry, not plural, the past simple or past participle will be cleaned. So cleaned, finished, stopped, used, all of them they can be past simple and past participle. But the irregular verbs they do not follow such pattern. For example, beat, the past simple of beat is bet, and the past participle of beat is beaten. Similarly, come, came, come, catch, caught, caught, eat, ate, eaten. Again, the irregular verbs are supposed to be memorized. Another big list of irregular verbs is about to be shared. This one. All of them, they are same in spelling. The word is exactly the same. Broadcast, 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 cost, 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 cut, 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 hit, 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 etc. But there is one small change, one small difference. that is in the word of read. Read as infinitive will be read, but the past simple will be pronounced as read, and past participle will again be pronounced as read. So read, read, read. So this is a pronunciation difference, but the rest all is the same. So again, we have to memorize all of them. Then we have auxiliary verbs. So you can see on the screen that the present simple, present continuous, and past simple and past participle of all the three auxiliary verbs, they are totally different. They are neither same in spelling, nor they are, you can say, there is no such pattern. They are again supposed to be memorized. The fourth one, the degree of comparison. So the form, what actually is the degree of comparison? That it is the form of an adjective or adverb which indicates the degree of comparison. So there are three forms of comparisons: the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. The positive, obviously, it describes the individual things, groups, or actions. For example, the emperor's chariots are fast. Brenda's speech was effective. So it's a description. The comparative, obviously, the word itself gives some clue that it's a comparison of two things or two groups or two actions. For example, the emperor's chariots are faster than the senator's chariots. George's speech was more effective than Brenda's speech. And the superlative form is obviously the comparison of more than two things or groups or actions. For example, the emperor's chariots are the fastest in the empire. So I mean, in the empire there are so many things in the empire, but among them the emperor's chariots are the fastest. Similarly, James' speech was the most effective of all. So let's say there was Brenda's speech, there was George's speech, but James stood out from all of them. His speech was outstanding. So this is what is the degree of comparison. But another thing is, when to say more effective or when to say faster, when to say fastest, when to say most effective, when to use such words. So let's learn about that in the last slide, that is uh, number five of regular and irregular comparison. You see, regular comparisons are those that end with er or est. Specifically telling you, you have to look at the syllables of the word. If there is one syllable or two syllable adjective or adverb, then the comparative and superlative form will be er and est. But if there is a word that is three syllable and sometimes two syllable words also, then the comparison and the superlative, comparative and superlative form will be by adding more and most. These are regular comparisons. For example, small, smaller. Comparative form of small is smaller, and the superlative form is smallest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Sleepy, two syllable. Sometimes two syllables, they end with er or est. That is why we have sleepy, sleepier, sleepiest. Useless, two syllable word. More useless, most useless. Precisely, three syllable word. Precisely, more precisely, most precisely. So this is a regular comparison. But the irregular comparison do not follow such patterns. So again, we have to memorize them. For example, whether the word is good or well, the comparative of both the word is better and the superlative is best. So similarly, bad, worse, worst, far, farther, or sometimes further, or you may say farthest or furthest, little, less or lesser, and the superlative is least, many or much. The comparative of both these words is more and the superlative is most. So these are the 5 exceptions in English parts of speech. So that's all regarding the exceptions. So guys, if you like this lecture, subscribe my channel, click the bell icon, give it a like. If you have any questions or would like to give some suggestions, please leave your words in the comments and forward this lecture to your friends and family. My channel, English Language Shelf. Take care and goodbye.